Hey, interwebs, Angie here, and I am talking Love is Blind. Thank you so much for joining me. If that is what you are into, then pull up a seat and join me for a while. If you like what you hear and you've never been to our channel before, then click the link below and check out Faith Over Everything podcast, which I host with my sister. But for now, we talking about this. So let's jump in to Love is Blind. So we are on Love is Blind, season 7, episode 1. One thing about me, I'm in my big force. Okay. So because of that, I need notes. So we are going to follow these notes. So if you see me looking over, that is why. Anyway, episode 1 is titled No More Situationships. We start the show, Nick and Vanessa, of course. They come in, introduce themselves, blah, blah, blah. We know who y'all are, but we get it. It's the show. It's what you got to do. Nick claims that he has never heard the term situationship, which I found to be really weird, seeing that you have been hosting this show for 7 seasons and it's a show full of single people, but you've never heard that word. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I thought that was weird. But anywho, one of the first people that caught my eye, or the comment she said caught me, was Hannah. Hannah is 26. She graduated college. She ended up getting her dream job. She makes good money, but she also wanted love. And her job wouldn't let her take the time off. So she put in time to come to Love is Blind. Like, I'm putting this PTO, I'm going to take off this time. And her job was like, no, denied. You can't do that. We're not going to approve that. And Hannah said, you know what? I need love. Okay. Ain't that what LL Cool J said? I need love. So she quit her job so she can come on this show. So because of that alone, I'm rooting for Hannah. I hope this works out in your favor because, girl, you are taking a risk. Okay. But they say you got to risk it all. Okay. If you big, what is it? No risk, no reward, big risk, big reward. So maybe that's her mindset. Um, we are going to briefly touch on some couples, nothing necessarily to talk about, but I just wanted to kind of lay the foundation of who we are talking about. So first we meet Ashley A. She's 32, and Tyler, he's 34. Their first interaction to me was very cute. They seem to have like a really good instant chemistry. So it was good to kind of see that form. We'll get back to them later. Next, we meet Nick. He's 28, and Hannah, who's 26. Nick is the youngest of the men's quarters. Hannah is the youngest of the women's quarters. Nick, when they introduced him and they showed him talking to all the women were like, "Oh, Nick is a smooth talker. Okay, he's a smooth talker. He got the riz. That's what the kids say." He got the riz. Okay. So Nick feels like he has never been in love, not like a romantic love before. And Hannah is the one I'm rooting for. She the one from the beginning that I just talked about 2 days ago that quit her job. So we'll see. Hannah also, in the next scene, forms a connection with a guy named Leo. Leo is 30. They seem to connect on them both loving to have experiences, like traveling, trying new foods, things of that nature. Leo is a art dealer, and he now owns his family's art business. He inherited it. um Apparently he makes money, or he has money, because he wants to make sure that women like him for him and not just for his money, honey. So that was a good reason for him to do this experiment, because he wants to form a genuine emotional connection first. We'll get back to that. Next, we meet Brittany. Brittany is 32. I have to say this, and I don't mean no harm. So please, Lord, forgive me. And this is just me, my opinion. I do not like her voice. Brittany's voice gets on my nerves, but you know what? My voice might get on y'all nerves too. So it just is what it is. I'm just being honest. Anywho, Brittany is an esthetician, and she she doesn't cook. She wants to be a trophy wife. Okay, she said, "Look, I don't cook, I don't clean." Okay, that's what she said. Um, and that's Brittany. Okay. Next, we meet Garrett. He's 31, and Taylor, she is 29. Their vibe was really well from the beginning. They bonded over playing sports. Garrett is a physicist. Taylor is a policy advocate who specializes in clean hydrogen energy. She has a hydrogen tattoo somewhere on her body. He has a quantum equation tattoo. So I thought that that was cool that they were able to kind of like have that, because he said like, I'm a nerd, whatever. So they were able to kind of like nerd out together. I thought that that was cool. Garrett said he wants his next relationship to be his last. Okay, he said um he's on his Tamia, My Last First Kiss. If you've never heard that song, check it out. Okay, he said, baby, I want you to be the last time I'm kissing somebody for the very first time. Okay, that's what Garrett said basically. Taylor left and was like, Garrett was my instant connection for the day. So they had a good vibe. Next we meet Tim. Tim is 32. Tim says he feels like the women that he has been with have always misunderstood him. But then he also said that he has been a dog and he has played games because he wasn't ready. In his words, I was a boy in the head and a man in the body. So now I'm wondering, Tim, well, not wondering, it just sounded like you was the problem, Tim. You say that you was misunderstood, but you wasn't misunderstood. You just sound like you was probably a liar. Like you were telling women one thing and then you was probably doing something else. Because your words, you said you was a dog and you was playing games. So they probably misunderstood you because you were probably telling lies. And when you tell lies, you be misunderstood because you're not telling the truth. You get where I'm going with this? Anyway, he said that was the old him. Okay. So we all about giving chances around here. Okay. That's one thing on this channel. I'm a I give people grace, y'all. So I'm not quick, I don't think, to run people off or to like be like, oh no, they are not redeemable. Everybody is redeemable. Okay. Everybody has redeeming qualities. All right. So Tim, that was the old you. You a new man, okay? Because that's what we become. We become new creatures in Christ, don't we? But okay, let me digress. Anywho, he said he's a new him. All right. So we meet Tim is with Alex. Alex is also 32. Um, Alex says she is spiritual and she believes marriage is for better or for worse before God. Her parents were not married to each other, but it does seem like both of, or not seem like, she said both of her parents have MS. Her dad ended up getting married, and so her dad has a wife, which is her stepmom. So when her dad's MS gets really bad, her stepmom is the caretaker. She said that her dad falls down a lot, and her stepmom has been a saint taking care of him. On the flip side, she said that her mom never got married. Her mom was in a 15-year long relationship. But when her MS got bad to the point where she needed a cane, her man left her. And that's sad. So especially when you have ailments, like you want somebody to be there for you. So my prayers go out to her mom and everything. But she's like, for that reason, she appreciates marriage, and she sees what her dad and stepmom has. They kind of show her what that unconditional marriage looks like, and that's what she wants. Tim's parents are still together. He is one of 3 children. He said he had 2 older sisters, but unfortunately, they both passed away. And that has helped him realize his own mortality. And so he said that he doesn't want to get married. He wants to die married. So he want to get married and stay married for life. And that's how I took it. He want to be married forever. Okay. When I die, I still want to be married to who I married from the beginning. But yes. So next we get Leo and Brittany. Now remember, Leo is the art dealer. Brittany is the trophy wife. For some reason, the conversation, they're talking about how she has a high pain tolerance. And then she says, anytime she has to do something painful, she imagines her mom dying and how painful that must have been, and thinks, well, if she can do that, I can do this. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I had to rewind it because I was like, wait, what did she just say? So her mom passed, and that's really, really sad. And I was just mad at Netflix because why did y'all introduce that information to us like that? Because y'all could have done that better, to just let that baby say that comment, and it just came out the blue. And then she had mentioned to him, like, you've been through something similar. And I was like, wait, so has his mother passed as well? Because we don't know any of this. We didn't hear any of this. So anywho, um, She applauds him for taking over his family business. He says that he is fortunate at 30 to not have to worry about money at all. He's uncomfortable talking about it as he grew up very well off. And after college, he was being groomed to take over the family business in about a decade or two. But unexpectedly, these were his words too. They were very weird due to a lot of them having cancer. And I have in my notes, who is a lot of them? Is that your family? Because again, it just may have been the way Netflix pieced it together. But I was like, why you had to refer to them to a lot of as a lot of them? I don't know. Anyway, he because his the thing happened with his family, the tragedies, he ended up getting his inheritance all at once. Leo confused me because the last time I saw Leo on my screen, he was talking about folks getting to know him for him genuinely because he has money and he doesn't want women to want him for his money. He wants to make a genuine emotional connection. So imagine my surprise when I hear him talking to Brittany of all people, who has already told us she's gonna be a trophy wife, that he got money. Anyway, Brittany said, well, you know what? Since you brought up money, let's talk about this. How do you feel about being in a marriage, a marriage, splitting bills 50-50? Leo said, I don't believe in paying it all. I'm not about to pay all the bills, but I also don't believe in 50-50 either, especially if I make more. He was like, so if he makes more, he'll pay more, but you got to put in on it. Okay. This is not, you got to contribute. We both have to contribute to the household. I'll pay more if I make more, or since I make more, but 50-50, yeah, we don't got to do that. I'll pay more. He didn't put a number on it. Like he didn't say 80-20, 90-10. He just said it's not 50-50. So Brittany said, okay, I can deal with that because these other men and these pods, they've been hard on the 50-50. Seems like they're not budging. And I like nice things, honey. Okay. She said she likes to shop. She likes to get her hair did, her nails done. She got to pay for her gym classes, and all of that is not cheap. Okay. She said, my last dude, he took care of me 100%. Now, I feel like that's something that Leo should note. Like she's telling you that she had a man before that paid everything. And she just asked you about 50-50. And she just told you that, everybody else is hard 50-50. And listen, there's somebody out there for everybody. Y'all do what y'all do. But if you are not going to take care of her 100%, I already feel like that is a sign that maybe this is not going to work. But I don't know. Anywho, so then once she says that, Leo now shares that, he tells her how insecure he is when it comes to women not wanting him for him, but possibly wanting him for his money. That made me mad because it's like, Leo, she would have never known you had any money had you not told her you had any money, honey. But anywho, Brittany said, well, if I wanted somebody for money, I would have been married. Okay, I could have been married a long time ago. Okay, so that's not the issue. I'm not marrying for money. They talk some more. They end the scene with them talking about naming their children. If it's a boy, his name is going to be Levi. If it's a girl, she said Blaze. Anywho, after this scene, we go right into the men's quarters with Leo, and he's talking to the men, and we get more context on all of them. He's telling the men that his grandma and his grandfather passed away from cancer. His mom passed away from cancer. His dad passed away from cancer. His stepdad passed away from cancer, all within 3 years. And I was just like, oh my goodness. Like that had to have been a horrible 3 years of his life. Like to think like all of these people, and he said he was an only child. So I was just like, Lord, like my heart really went out to him. And just anybody dealing with cancer, because cancer is an epidemic. Okay. I know a lot of us we know people who have been affected by cancer, who have lost their lives through cancer. So we just pray healing over everyone's lives. But this is not the podcast. This is the review show. So we're going to focus. But then he lost me because he talked about this. And then the very next scene or sentence, He's talking about how he's not on this show to be an influencer and that he is a rich art dealer. He don't need this show. He went to private schools. He been to country clubs, memberships, and all throughout and everything. And it's, he appreciates having the problems he have in terms of money problems, because I would hate to not have any money, but it's just hard to be me, because I don't know if women want me or for my money. And I was just like, Leo, you trying too hard and you starting to rub me the wrong way. At this point, that's how I feel about Leo. The next scene, we see Leo and Hannah together. Their conversation started off irritating because it's Leo talking to Hannah about how he appreciates that she didn't ask him a million questions about his job. For example, what is the most expensive piece of art you have sold? Sir, it's like you want her to ask you about money. You're saying that you don't want to talk about your money and you want people to like you for you, genuinely for you, but you lead with money. Like you're leading with your job and you're saying you don't want to talk about your job, but that's all you talk about. So I don't know. Because I said that, sir, you are dying to tell her that you're rich. Allegedly, because now I'm not so sure you even telling the truth. I feel like, because the fact that he made the influencer comment, that made me feel like, so are you chasing money? Do you want to be an influencer? Only time will tell. Anywho, Hannah said, honestly, I didn't even know what an art dealer does. Basically, you sell art. That's essentially all she was thinking. Like, you sell art. You said you was an art dealer. What, she didn't say this, but I took it as, what questions do I need to ask? He responded, I can definitely explain it to you later, but it's not relevant to our emotional connection. She agreed, and that was it. But I was just like, but where was that energy with Brittany? Because you could have kept all that money conversation with Brittany to yourself, but you didn't. But maybe with Brittany, again, he might have to lead with that. But if you really want a genuine connection, you shouldn't have to do that. But that's just my thoughts. Anyway, next up, we have our girl Hannah, and she's with smooth talking Nick. Okay, Nick used to be a football player. Hannah was a cheerleader. So for some reason, she's like, "Well, I can be Taylor Swift, and you can be Travis Kelce." And he was like, "Oh, my celebrity crush used to be Beyonce, but now it's Scarlett Johansson." And I was like, "Oh, so you are really giving Travis Kelce vibes, huh?" If you know, you know. Okay. Hannah said that her crush is Henry Cavill. And Nick said that he kind of looks like him, but a less buff version. And I said, no, let's not start this season. Okay. Let's not do that. Okay. We're not going to do that. So they glance over that. They have nice banter. They seem to be into one another, and then as they're leaving, they're like, "Oh, I really like you. I like you too. Oh my God, I'm going to leave. I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss you too." So then Hannah goes back to the women's quarters and she's telling the ladies that she is smitten with Nick, and that he has a deeper side to him because all the other women don't see it. Hannah said, "Well, I think he's the love of my life." This lady named Marissa. Granted, they're all kind of like laughing, so it's not like, um, intense or anything. But Marissa was like, "Girl, that man's not the love of your life." And Hannah was like, "Well, you don't hear our conversations." And Marissa was like, "I don't need to hear your conversations to know that he's not the love of your life," basically. And I wrote, you know what? Two things can be true. He may not be the love of your life, Marissa. Okay? He may not be the love of your life, but he could be the love of Hannah's life. Because at the end of the day, you're here to find your person. And if you don't like Nick, and it probably seems like Nick don't like you, why does it matter if Hannah like Nick? That's the one thing about this show that irks me, is that like you start to form these friendships with people in the pods, but they don't have to know your business. Keep your business to yourself. Even if the person you like, y'all can talk about people, but just don't put no names on it. Mm-mm. Anywho, next we are with Garrett and Taylor. They are very into each other. They're talking about how they're really falling for each other. It was like a really good conversation. But then Garrett was asked her about her parents. And so she ended up mentioning how great her parents were and how everyone calls her mom by her first name. But she's not going to tell him her mom's first name at this time because it'll give away a part of her ethnicity. So at that point, Garrett states, like, he seems a little taken aback. He's like, he's only ever dated white girls. And then that confused me because you're coming on Love is Blind. And if you only wanted to date white women, like, why would you come on a show that clearly allows all ethnicities to be represented? Even if the other ethnicities are like represented in a smaller margin, there's probably going to be more white women than anything. There's no guarantee that you're going to end up with a white woman. So what was the reason, Garrett? Anyway, he then states that he felt like, she has been calculated in what she says. And so now he's wondering what she's hiding. And I wrote, boy, bye. Don't piss me off, Garrett. Because I don't like that. Like, if people that come on Love is Blind, to me, in my opinion, I feel like you are open to all ethnicities, all races. You're open to dating outside your race. So to come on here and then pigeonhole somebody just because you think she sounds a certain way, whatever else. So you went off of how she talks, but how she talks could just genuinely be her. So to say that she's being calculated in how she presents herself, sir, she's just being her. And you took it how you want to take it. You apparently are ignorant and think that only white people sound a certain way. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm misjudging him. But that's just how I felt in that moment, y'all. Anywho, now he got my girl Taylor feeling away because he used the word calculated like she was trying to get over on him when she was just being herself. He goes on to say that the way that she talks is slow and methodical, as if she is curating an image she wants him to have. And I was like, what, sir, what are you even saying? Like, you're very much giving. She wanted you to think that she was white, but she don't know you to know what you like. Like, I don't. Anyway, she said, I didn't share my ethnicity as it could give away what I look like, and I don't want that, which is great because this is Love is Blind. That's the experiment. It's blind. You cannot see. So he said that his feelings for her are insane because she was like, well, at this point, I just kind of want to tell you. And he was like, no, 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 you don't have to. You don't have to. And he's like, wow, it's just really crazy. Like, he's like, his feelings for her are insane, but he needs more time to get to know her, as he's sure that she needs more time to get to know him. And hopefully they can make it work, which was a dramatic turn, in my opinion, from the beginning of the scene, because he was like, they were like, oh, so, in like with each other. And now all of a sudden it was kind of like, you could tell he took a step back off of that comment. He then starts talking about how crazy he feels about her while like having no idea. He's like, oh, I really don't even know what you look like. Like, I can't believe I feel this way about you. And I have no idea what you look like. And I'm like, sir, you never had an idea of what she looked like. I mean, so that to me makes me think that based off of the conversations and the voice, he thought that she was a white woman. So he was probably trying to figure out, is she blonde, a brunette, or a redhead? And then he found out that she's probably not neither of those because she said the ethnicity comment. And he's like, oh, darn. Well, you shouldn't have been here. But we'll see how that plays out. The next scene, we go to Tyler and Ashley. And spoiler alert, they are my favorite this episode. Now, I don't know if they're going to stay my favorite. We shall see. But I like Tyler and Ashley. So they are talking about how he's talking about how he cooked breakfast for the men's quarters. She's talking about how she cooked breakfast for the women's quarters. And she's just very surprised because that Tyler cooks, because she's never dated a man that can cook before. Tyler goes on to say how he does not believe in gender roles, basically, because while he believes is a protector, he said he also likes to cook and he'll wash dishes. Like, if I work all day and you work all day, why should you be the one to wash the dishes and cook the dinner and all the other things? So he was like, listen, we we gonna do what we want to do around here. We ain't no gender roles. Love that for them. They both like to ride horses. Tyler has skydiving on his bucket list, and Ashley says she has always wanted to skydive, and she's always had in her mind. She says she's scared of heights. However, she's always planned to go skydiving the day before her wedding. So I'm like, okay, we'll put a pin in that and see if that comes back around for us. But we shall see. We find out that Tyler's mom is Serbian. And she was disowned by her father for having kids outside of her race. She ended up having 3 children, I believe he said. And her father's family and her father disowned her. So that's unfortunate. So his family grew up struggling. It was just him, his mom, his siblings, and his grandmother. When he was 9, his grandma got cancer, and then she ended up passing away. And he really got emotional in this scene because he was saying how, he was 9 and he didn't know how to console his mom, and his mom was emotional at times. His siblings and her would see her crying, or they would hear her crying at night. And as a child, he didn't know what to do. And I think as an adult now, he kind of thinks about that. But it's like, sir, give yourself grace. You were a kid. You didn't know how to console people. There are grown people who still don't know how to console people. So, just give yourself grace with that. It just kind of hurt my heart that he was kind of broken up about that. But with that, he says that he has always wanted to be married. He wants to be happy. He wants to have a big family, and he just wants to give all his love to someone. Okay. He got all this love to give. He wants to give it to somebody. So they had a good little exchange. He's feeling real good with her. He said, we boyfriend and girlfriend now, before they ended. And she was like, what? He listen, he didn't say it, but he basically we go together. I mean, he said they go together. We boyfriend and girlfriend. We here. Okay. I am for you and you are for me. And I'm going to tell everybody that you my girlfriend. He did say that. I'm going to tell everybody you my girlfriend. So the next scene, we are in the men's quarters. And Leo is talking to the man now how he's considering Brittany or Hannah. He says Brittany reminds him of his exes, and that he is similar to her exes. And Hannah is someone that he probably wouldn't have given a chance to outside the experiment. Tyler overhears. He comes over and he gives the advice of, what you did in the past hasn't worked for you, and how it's easy to find someone who's like your ex. He said for himself, with Ashley, he feels safe, and that feeling safe is something that he never considered before. Like, he didn't think that, I guess he could feel safe in a relationship, but Ashley makes him feel safe. Again, I love that. I'm telling y'all, first episode, for me, it's Tyler and Ashley. I hope that doesn't change, but again, we'll see. So he's like, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you to consider these things, which I agree. You can easily find somebody that's like your ex. The whole point of this is to find somebody that's different. Like you said, Hannah is someone you probably wouldn't even gave a chance to, yet you guys are connecting. So see where that goes. He didn't say that, but that's basically what he said. Anyway, one of the guys, he points out Brittany and Hannah are 2 different girls. And he says, Brittany, she'll probably be expensive. And we already know, Leo, it's okay. I have money. Why do we know that? Why does everybody know you got money? You didn't want to tell nobody you had money, but now everybody know you got money. Anywho, we go into the women's quarters, and the women are talking about Nick D and how smooth and charming he can be. And Hannah is saying that her gut is telling her that he may be too smooth, and she's not sure she can believe the things he's saying, and that he would probably break her heart. The women are like, well, girl, you know what you need to do. On the flip side, we see Nick in the men's quarters, and he's telling the guys how Hannah is his one and his only. And he was like, that's his wifey. He can see himself proposing to her, and he's talking to the man, not knowing that at the table is Leo, and he don't know that Leo is dating Hannah, which I could appreciate, because that means that y'all ain't telling all y'all business too much. People, you probably talking a little bit, because clearly Leo was talking about Hannah and Brittany, but y'all ain't talking to each other that y'all know that y'all dating the same woman. Anyway, I put that I do hate when they overshare. So I do hate that Nick even brought that up in front of Leo, because now Leo has overheard that you like Hannah. In the next scene, we get Nick and Hannah. Nick come in all happy, like, because this he with his wifey. Okay, will you be my wifey? Yes. Anyway, Hannah starts off like, listen, I have concerns. Okay, why are you here? And he's like, well, I mean, I haven't found the woman that I want. I was looking for all the wrong qualities. I was looking in all the wrong places. Now I know what I want in a woman. I'm focused. And I want something genuine. I want something real. So Hannah starts telling him that she feels like in the real world, he would be one of the guys that will want her because of her physical attributes and not her true self. She said, he's someone that would probably want her to be perfect all the time, and she wants to be unapologetically herself. He's like, listen, I want my wife to be just what you said. I want you to be unapologetically you. Like, you're not saying anything that's scaring me off. What you said, that's what I want. That's what I want. That's it. So then she confides that based off of the questions and things that he said to her, she feels as if he thinks that she's hot, and that is why he would want her, and that she can't shake the gut feeling that he's just saying all the right things. He said, look, I don't care what you look like. I don't want you to be perfect. No matter who you are, I will love you. I enjoy talking to you. Talking to you is like talking to my best friend, and I want my best friend to be my wife. She then says that she thinks that her connection with other people have gotten stronger, and that she likes him, but she's not sure if she could spend the rest of her life with him. And I hated that for her. Anyway, Nick leaves gracefully, wishing her luck. And I put in my notes, I feel bad for Nick in this moment, because I feel like, and y'all let me know, I honestly feel like based off of what we have seen from the women's quarters, she didn't let the other women get in her head. And now she didn't possibly lost her man. Okay? Because the other women wasn't liking him. And they wasn't liking him because he wasn't for them. You was liking him. We just seen you a couple scenes ago talking about something. He was the love of your life. Now all of a sudden you don't like him, or you don't like him enough. I just feel like she was easily influenced. And who knows? Nick, I was about to say Leo. No, I don't like Leo. Nick he might not be the one for her, but I don't think she gave him a fair chance. Anywho, in the very next scene, she walks in the women's quarters and lets it be known that she called it quits with him, which I feel like people already knew, because in the scene before, when they were like, well, you know what you got to do, you didn't let these folks talk you into losing your man. So she came in and like, did you do it? So you planned it with everybody else. Why are you planning what you're doing with everybody else? Anyway, after she confirms the deed is done, Brittany walks in and accidentally lets it slip that she was just talking to Leo. And then she's like, oh. And then she leaves because Leo was the only other person that Hannah got. So now Hannah is regretting, or she was like, yeah, she's like, Leo's my number one. Like, what? So now she's regretting the nickname. Like you overhear her. There's a voiceover saying that she's regretting the Nick thing. And then she's like, because Leo can dump her now at any moment. And I said, girl, Leo could have dumped you at any moment before, which is why it was foolish of you to put all your eggs in his basket before you even knew it. Because to my knowledge, we haven't seen any conversation with her and Leo where he's telling her that he got all his eggs in her basket. The only person that got all his eggs in her basket was Nick. And she didn't send him packing. And that was foolish of her. The last line we hear is Hannah saying, Nick D, I think I love him, but I shouldn't love him. And he's probably going home today. And I've said he probably is. And if he does, just blame yourself. Because at the end of the day, Nick wasn't talking to anybody else in those pods. Them other women then told you he too smooth for them, whatever. There's nothing wrong with you thinking that he may be smooth, but you could have given him more time to really figure out, because he's devoting all his time to you. And from what we've seen, it don't look like she's like the last option. Like he chose her because this person didn't want him. He chose you because he wanted you. And now you didn't send him away for somebody that you don't even know how he feel about you. And he got somebody else in the picture. But I don't know, y'all. That was episode 1. Again, thank you for joining me. If you like this video, comment, tell me what y'all think. I have not watched the rest of the episodes yet. I'm going to get to those. I'm going to try to drop the next few episodes in the next few days. Y'all, I'll be busy. Okay, I got a job, I got a husband, I got children, I got little kids. My youngest is 3. So I have to fit this all in. But it'll be done in the next few days. Thank you so much for joining me again. Comment below, get in the comments. Tell me what y'all think. Do y'all agree with me? Do y'all disagree with me? And I'll try to have season 2, episode 2 up tomorrow. But again, if you like what you hear and would like to hear more, and this is your first time here, then again, click the channel. Check out Faith Over Everything podcast. It's a podcast where we talk about everything. Okay. All right. See you next time. Ta ta.